Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 6. And if you were napping during this stage 6 of Giro d'Italia, you could have slept pretty much all morning because it was a sleeper all morning. Now it's 192 kilometers. I have a little bump early at the beginning of the stage here. And it's only about 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers at about 4%. So it's nothing real hard. But they're going all the way north up the coast today. So if they had any crosswind or any kind of bad weather at all, maybe this could have been an exciting stage at the Giro d'Italia, but instead it's a sleeper. Now, the best things to look out for if you woke up early and turned the race on like I did are the interviews. They had an interview, of course, with Vincenzo Nibali, the Astana rider who's retiring. This is going to be his last season as a bike racer. Now, Vincenzo Nibali was a legend, won one of every big Grand Tour out there, and I got the pleasure of beating him for my 2013 Vuelta win, so he was on the podium with me. But that aside, he's got a record that's absolutely phenomenal, no kidding aside. Two Giro d'Italia victories, 1 Tour de France victory, 1 Tour of Spain victory. My pleasure watching him throughout my career, and of course racing against him, is immense. He was a fabulous rider and always a competitor throughout the pro peloton and throughout his career. Now, the other interview, Caleb Ewan. He gives an interview about what happened on yesterday, and he overlapped the derailleur with Davide Ballerini. That blew out his front wheel. He had to go back for that wheel change. And then he says, even in the interview, all of a sudden, magically enough, the guys in the front start attacking hard right as he's back there getting a wheel change for his bike. So that explains why the sprinter for Lotto was off the back on yesterday's stage 5. And of course, they never got back on to compete for the sprint win there that Arnaud Démare took on yesterday's stage of the Giro d'Italia. The next interview has to be Fernando Gaviria, because Fernando Gaviria, of course, we threw a bit of a temper tantrum at the end of the stage. And I'll say it's kind of legit. It really is. When you're having bike problems and you're frustrated, I know there's videos out there, YouTube, of me throwing my bike around. So I got to tell you, when the level gets high and you haven't been winning, but you want to be winning and you have the form to win, and then something malfunctions on your bike, all of a sudden you just get angry, you say stuff you're not supposed to say, and then it gets caught on camera, of course, as it has for me, and now it has for Fernando Gaviria too. So he apologizes on there and explains that that's the reason why he was upset. It was a gear problem that he had coming into the finishing sprint of yesterday's stage 5, and he got stuck in the 13 cog. So when we get into the racing, though, because the action is so slow, for the first 20-25 kilometers, those guys are back there, the whole peloton, even the best riders in the world, they're back there just chit-chatting, enjoying today's stage. That's how calm it is, that there's not even a break up the road, and these guys are just back there chit-chatting the whole time, taking nature breaks, talking to other teammates, other riders from other teams, and so on and so forth. Then finally, about 20-25 kilometers into the stage, we see our first attack. It's the Iolo Cometa's Diego Rosa. Now, Diego Rosa has a pretty solid resume if you look some years back, but nothing in the recent times. He's been second at Tour of Lombardy, which is one of the hardest one-day races in the world. One of my favorites. Liège, Bastogne-Liège being my favorite. This is my second one-day favorite race. And then, of course, the World Championships, depending on where they place it. So, when you see the rider up front, he's got about a 4-minute gap maximum. But there's three teams back there riding. It's Lotto Soudal, FDJ's riding back there, and Quick Step. So you know Diego has no chance of winning today's stage. They'll bring him back with about 30 kilometers to go in the stage. Now, in between that, we saw 3 riders from Drone Harper throwing a little bit of attack. They get up the road only for about 10 kilometers because Lotto Soudal will bring them back. Other than that, the most exciting thing that happened throughout this stage would have been the sprint points competition, where we see Arnaud Démare and Biniam Girmay sprinting out, with Girmay beating Arnaud Démare to the line. But remember, there's 4 riders up the road, the 3 Drone Harpers, and of course the solo rider up the road, Iolo Cometa's Diego Rosa. So there wasn't maximum points available there. Biniam Girmay's clearly showing signs that he wants that point competition jersey, though. Now, when we get down to about 20 kilometers to go, that's when the racing starts getting a little more exciting. With everything wrapped up and together in the peloton, we start seeing the peloton go curb to curb. Right on the right side, it's Lotto Soudal. On the left side, it's FDJ. It'll go down the coast all the way like this to about 3 kilometers to go. If I back the film up a little bit though, every time they show the back end of the peloton, there's two teams back there, Jumbo-Visma and Alpecin Phoenix. Now you guys know how I hate teams riding at the back, but again, this is another one of those times when you got the right to ride at the back. And even Alpecin Phoenix, Mathieu van der Poel, who's sitting on the back there, I think it's a good plan. I don't see any reason why he should be at the front taking risks to get 5th on the stage or 3rd on the stage, unless, of course, he's going to go for the sprint competition, which clearly he's not, so that's why he's back there. Another sign showing us that Mathieu van der Poel might be eager to leave the Giro d'Italia after the first 10 days of racing have finished here at the Giro. So now let's get back up to the front, because like I said, it's curb to curb. All the teams are fighting up there with the sprinter teams locked in 10 wide all the way across the road. And Lotto Soudal is doing everything they can on the right side to keep Caleb Ewan out of trouble. Quick Step is set up in about the center, just a little bit left of Lotto Soudal. And FDJ, winner of yesterday's stage 5, is sitting on the left side, and they're doing a fabulous job. When we get down to 3 kilometers to go, we're going to see Intermarché with Biniam Garmet take the front. They're only going to hold it for about a kilometer, maybe a little bit less, because then it's going to be Israel Premier Tech coming up the left side of the road with 2K to go. And they got control of the peloton here at stage 5 with 2K into the finish line. With 1 kilometer to go on the left side of the road, Israel Premier Tech still have control of this peloton at the Giro d'Italia, but they got FDJ train lined up right behind them. When we look all the way over to the right side, it's Quick Step lined up, and they got 4 riders still here at the Giro d'Italia coming under the Flamme Rouge. But they got some company, Caleb Ewan, Lotto Soudal. He's lost his teammates. He knows now he's going to hold on to the wheel of Mark Cavendish for as long as he possibly can to try to give himself a win, a redemption win here at stage 6 of the Giro d'Italia. Just off to the left side of Mark Cavendish is going to be Biniam, Intermarché rider who lost his teammates. Now with 800 meters to go, it's Davide Ballerini who pulls off for Quick Step. That's going to leave 3 Quick Step guys left to do the last 800 meters here at the Giro d'Italia stage 6. Now the problem is, with 700 meters to go, if we look all the way over on the left side of the road, is Davide Chimilai Cofidis, and he pulls off hard exit stage right as he directly pulls a hard right turn, goes straight into Bert van Leeuwenberg, only 100 meters into Bert's efforts on the front here for Quick Step. That's going to leave Michael Morkov on the front and one Mark Cavendish on his wheel. That's it when we're talking about Quick Step. 700 meters to go at this moment, and they only have 2 riders left, Michael Morkov and Mark Cavendish. That's going to leave Michael Morkov in a dangerous position here, because it was Bert van Leeuwenberg's job to go from 800 meters all the way into about 500, if not 400 meters to go on this stage, because up front, coming into the finish of this stage at 300 meters, there's going to be a long bend all the way into the finish, and then about 150 meters to go, it's going to straighten out. So for Quick Step, this is a big problem. Davide Chimilai, the Cofidis rider, really altered the plans here massively for Quick Step. Now remember though, Michael Morkov, the best lead out man in the world, what does he do? First off, he gets his bike pointed hard to the left side of the road, and he's going to take Mark Cavendish over to the FDJ train now, who's got full control here at 700 meters to go for stage 6 Giro win. Now, Michael Morkov, when we see him slot all the way over to the left side of the road, he's still 7, if not 8 guys back from the front of the FDJ train that still have 3 riders on the front. With 450 meters to go, we'll see the FDJ rider pull off the front. Now that's leaving just two FDJ riders at front. It's Garnieri, the last lead out man here for Arnaud Démare, yesterday's stage winner. Garnieri gets on the pedals, but he doesn't have a big acceleration. Now, when I back the film up just a little bit, I want to show you how Michael Morkov, he had riders dropping all over in front of him. He just missed his teammate's wheel at 700 meters to go with Chimilai there when they connected. Now he went all the way to the left. He's dodging around all the lead out trains that are starting to blow up in front of him, and he's gotten himself all the way to the front with 350 meters to go. He's almost up to the back wheel of Giacomo Garnieri. Now Garnieri at 350 meters to go, he looks right over his shoulder. He sees it's Michael Morkov coming, and he knows at 300 meters there's going to be a bend in the road. He'll start drifting hard over to the right to make it a lot more complicated for Michael Morkov to get the lead here at the Giro d'Italia. Michael Morkov starts his acceleration just as the turn starts to bend slightly to the left. When I back the film up just a hair, just a meter or two, I want to show you over to the right side of the road. It is Fernando Gaviria back there who just got almost taken down by the DSM riders as they're all locking up. 3 riders there are locking up offside on the right side of the picture. Up front with 300 meters to go, it's Michael Morkov that's got the lead here at Giro d'Italia Stage 5. Now, Jacobo, who tried to slow down Michael Morkov, now he's fading back to the fencing as Arnaud Démare is sliding between the fencing and his FDJ teammate. There on the right side, it's going to be Mark Cavendish that starts his acceleration. We'll see him come out of the bend with 150 meters to go in the front position with Caleb Ewan locked solidly on his wheel. Caleb Ewan had been the caboose here for Quick-Step throughout the last 1K. He was locked in on Mark Cavendish's wheel all the way to this moment. Now with 100 meters to go, we'll see Caleb Ewan take his exit off of Mark Cavendish's wheel. He starts his acceleration on the right side with about 75 meters to go. Arnaud Démare, who has done an amazing job of missing all of the traffic. He had to pass through between the fencing of him and his teammate. He barely made it through that. Then he had Michael Morkov coming back fast that he had to avoid. Now he locked in on Caleb Ewan's wheel with 75 meters to go. He's on the side of Caleb Ewan starting his sprint at 50 meters to go. We're 3 wide and Beniam Gourmet is in the picture. The Eritrean is back there and finally not blocked in on one of these sprints at Giro d'Italia, but he's not going to have the legs because up front it's a 3-way battle with 50 meters to go. Shortly after that, we're going to see it's a 2-way battle at 25 meters to go because Mark Cavendish's legs have started to fall off, and now it's Caleb Ewan and Arnaud Démare. Now yesterday in the comments when I talked about Démare being so great on yesterday's stage, some of you left some comments back there talking about how he didn't beat the best and there's just not that many sprinters left. Well, now with 25 meters to go, Mark Cavendish has already dropped off. He's in a 2-way sprint with Caleb Ewan. Those two will go to the line, and with about 3-5 feet to go before the line, it's Démare that throws his bike early. Caleb Ewan throws it just afterwards. They come to the line. We gotta wait. Nobody knows. It's that close. It's edge to edge. We don't know who's got the win. You had to wait 5-10 minutes after the stage until we see the victory, the happiness on the face of Arnaud Démare as he celebrates with his teammates. We know he takes today's stage 6 victory from the best sprinters in the world. Caleb Ewan, #1 sprinter in the world. Mark Cavendish, #3 best sprinter in the world, in my opinion. And it was today the Frenchman FDJ who wins today's stage. Congratulations, Arnaud Démare. Fantastic victory. We got to see our big showdown between all the sprinters, and the only sprinter missing really at the finish of today's stage was Fernando Gaviria, who threw in a brilliant effort to try to get up there and win today's stage, but just had too many obstacles to have to fight against on today's finish with about 400 meters to go. Because first he had the bump with Caleb Ewan, then he had the bump and almost crashed with the DSM riders, and that took him out. But we got to watch 3 of the best here at Giro d'Italia come to the line, and the Eritrean just behind. Arnaud Démare will take the stage win. Caleb Ewan will finish 2nd. Mark Cavendish 3rd on the stage, just a half bike length behind. The Eritrean 4th on the stage to keep his battle for the points competition alive here at the Giro d'Italia. Now all the GC favorites, they all finished in same time. It was a sleeper of the stage, but you got to go back and at least watch the last 2 kilometers of today's stage and maybe catch a few of the interviews because they were worth listening to. Great finish, finally a great battle between all the sprinters here at the Giro d'Italia, and nobody left behind except for Fernando Gaviria. Make sure you guys like and subscribe because we're getting into the mountains on tomorrow's stage. We got a good hard mountain climb tomorrow's stage, then a fabulous circuit stage with a hard hill in it on the next 2 days here, and then of course Blockhouse on Sunday, which should see the big GC battles all come to big head-to-head battles on that last mountain finish of Blockhouse for Sunday's race. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys real soon.